Good morning, students. This is Sampat Bhadu, Assistant Professor of English, Govt College, Sri Dungargarh, Bikaner. Today, we are going to take up the next poem entitled The Soldier, composed by Rupert Brooke. Let's discuss about the poem and the poet. Rupert Brooke was a war poet. He is closely identified with the ideas and thoughts related to the commencement of World War I. Brooke received his education from Rugby and King's College, Cambridge, and wrote poetry, prose, and drama. His war sonnets include The Soldier, which appeared in the New Numbers early 1915. Rupert Brooke's war poetry led him to become a hero of the nation due to the sentiments of patriotism and presence of lyricism in his poetry. Subsequent to the horrors of World War I, Brooke faced tremendous criticism for his glorification of war, and his poetry was considered naive and lacking in depth. However, despite such diverse opinions, Brooke occupies an important place in the history of English literature for being representative of his age. The present poem, The Soldier, is one of the five sonnets that Brooke composed shortly after the commencement of the World War I and published in 1915 with the title 1914 and Other Poems, written in two stanzas, an octave and a sestet. It is his famous poem expressing the idealism common throughout the nations of Europe as they marched to battle in 1914. In this sonnet, Brooke glorifies England during the First World War. He speaks in the guise of an English soldier as he is leaving home to go to war. The poem represents the patriotic ideals that characterized pre war England. It portrays death for one's country as a noble end and England as the noblest country for which to die. In the octave of the sonnet, he says that his grave will be England herself and the impact people of England will have on seeing this grave. In the sestet, the soldier speaker speaks about his death as redemption since it would be a sacrifice for his motherland. He concludes by saying that he is indebted to his motherland and the debt can only be declared by sacrificing his life for his motherland. He says, to die for one's country is noble and honorable. Structurally, this sonnet follows the Petrarchan model, but in its rhyme scheme, it adopts Shakespearean model. Dear students, basically, this is a patriotic poem. Let's take up the text. If I should die, think only this of me, that there is some corner of a foreign field that is forever England. There shall be in that rich earth a richer dust concealed, a dust whom England bow shaped, made aware, gave once her flowers to love, her ways to roam, a body of England's breathing English air, washed by the rivers, blessed by sun of home. The opening stanza is an extract from the poem entitled The Soldier, composed by Rupert Brooke. The poem is a sonnet and expresses an English soldier's patriotism and his fervent love for his country. The poet thinks of himself as a part of England because his body, mind, and spirit are made of English soil, climate, and thoughts. He was born in England. He was brought up in England, loving her flowers, breathing English air, drinking waters of English river, and enjoying himself in English sunshine. He considers his dust, his remains, richer than the dust of the land where he may die. The poet says that wherever he is buried, that place would become England because his is English dust. Means his body is made up of the English dust. He is the part and parcel of England, of his nation. That is why wherever he dies, that particular part of land becomes England. Rupert Brooke had joined the British Navy in 1914. He fought at Antwerp, sailed for East in February, and died 2 months later on active service at Syros, leaving for his epitaph the following lines: "If I should die, think only this of me, that there is some corner of a foreign field that is forever England." Next, yeah. And think, this heart, all evil shed away, a pulse in the eternal mind, no less gives somewhere back the thoughts by England given, her sights and sounds, dreams happy as her day, and laughter learnt of friends, and gentleness in hearts at peace under an English heaven. In these lines, the poet again tells his countrymen what they should think of him if he dies in a foreign field. He says that after his all evil in him will disappear and he will become a part and parcel of this eternal mind. In this condition, also he will inspire in the hearts of his countrymen thoughts of love for the motherland. He will remain forever a source of inspiration to the English people. He will make their hearts truly characteristic of English society and an English home. The juxtaposition of the words peace and English recall to our mind the following stanza in Tennyson's Palace of Heart. And once an English home, grey twilight poured on dewy pastures, dewy trees, softer than sleep, all things in order restored, a haunt of ancient peace. So, dear students, this is a poem devoted to the nation, a patriotic poem, a feeling of nationalism, sentiments of nationalism have been fervently expressed through these lines, through these poetic stanzas. Rupert Brooke was a nationalistic poet. He was a fervent nationalist. He was a patriotic poet. Through this poem, he instills the feelings, the sentiments of nationalism, of patriotism into the hearts of the readers. After reading this poem, we come to know about the nationalistic feelings of the poet. Of course, when we study such type of poems, a feeling of nationalism, patriotism arise in our hearts. We start loving more a country. Because such type of thoughts and ideas, they inspire us, they fire us, they motivate us, they encourage us to sacrifice ourselves for this mother soil of which we are made of which we are made up. So, dear students, let's be nationalistic. Let's love our country more simply because we are whatever we are because of this nation. We are because of this motherland. A body, a soul, a spirit, a mind, all are constructed by our motherland. We drink her water, we breathe her air, we eat her food. That is why I think we should be we should be devoted completely and wholly and wholeheartedly dedicated to our nation. Our nation is paramount for us. It is topmost. Nothing is above our nation. That's all for today, and have a nice day.